Busy life, big dreams, so much noise in your ears. We cut straight through, make the next step clear. Thought for Thursday, real talk, real tools right now. In 15 we move the dial, simple steps, strong moves, you'll see how. Thought for Thursday, clarity that sticks, you'll feel it from insight to action, and impact that stays. Thought for Thursday, let's change a day.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Thought for Thursday. Thought for Thursday is the podcast. It's a part of Leveling Up the podcast, actually. The one that we bring to you on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. for all of 15 minutes. We focus in on a pain point. And by the time you get to the other side of that pain point, or to the other side of this podcast, we will have given you 5 tools that you can use that are going to help you to be triumphant over that very thing that is paining you. As you know, we frequently talk reinvention here, and tonight is no different. Earlier this week on Triumphant Tuesday, I talked about how it's important to be in the right crosswalk, or to be in the crosswalk. Tonight, we're going to talk about, well, you're in the crosswalk, but are you going in the right direction? We've talked already about reinvention. You've made the commitment to change, and now you're in the middle of it, and it doesn't feel so right. And you're starting to have questions. Is this really the direction that I need to be going in? We all have those questions, don't we? We all stop and wonder, even in the midst of finally making a decision to do better, to do differently. We then start to wonder, am I doing the right thing differently? Am I really pursuing the direction that I need to be going in? And we all come to that moment in life. It's a season when we really kind of pause and say, am I just simply moving? Is that all I'm doing here? Is this really right? Change, when you first approach it, it can feel really exciting, can't it? It can feel bold. We finally decided to come out of the gate. It can feel like we're finally making some progress, but reinvention is not proven by how quickly we move, is it? Sometimes we might feel that way if we start out and things aren't happening as quickly as we think. We're thinking that is a sign of success or not being successful. But it's really proven by whether our steps are aligned and with who we are becoming. We talk about that a lot, but that's really what it's about. So today we're going to go a little deeper, because when you're reinventing in life, you, of course, need the tools that are going to help you to get there. But you also need some tools to let you know if, did you hear right? Are you moving right? Is everything aligning? Is this really the direction that you want to go? And so today we're going to talk about 5 tools. Yes, 5 tools that are going to help us to decide if our reinvention is really the reinvention that we need to pursue. Is this really the direction that we need to go in? So one of those tools, we're going to start right out of the gate. One of those tools that you need to kind of use in determining if you're going in the right way is a peace test. Alignment really brings a sense of peace, even when the work is challenging, when it's difficult, when it's stuff that we've put off doing forever because it's outside of our comfort zone. There's still a certain peace that we should have about it. You might feel stretched, yes. You may feel uncertain about how everything's going to unfold. But deep down, there is still this quiet settling in your soul, settling in your spirit when you are really going in the way that you're supposed to be going. You can feel it. It's almost something that you can't quite explain. It's a peace that surpasses all understanding, but you have that peace, which lets you know, I'm in the right crosswalk. I'm going in the right direction. I don't need to be over there. I don't need to be over here. I am right where I'm supposed to be. This reinvention is for me. So ask yourself the question, Do I feel grounded in this decision? Or am I constantly unsettled? That peace does not follow being unsettled, does it? Peace and unsettled don't seem to go together. That's because they don't. If you're constantly feeling unsettled, you may need to go back and kind of look at things to determine, did I miss something? Is this really where I'm supposed to be going? Peace is a tool that you use to determine if you are in the right crosswalk. What's something else that you can use? Well, there's an energy test. We talk a lot about energy. We talk a lot about the things that don't profit us and letting go of those things that are not helping us to propel or to excel. Peace is one that we want to make sure that we have, but we also want to kind of test our energy. How are we feeling? The right direction, like I've already said, it might stretch you, but it shouldn't drain you. It should not deplete you of all that is important to you. It should not take away those nutrients that are there to sustain you. And if it's doing that, you might want to look again at that crosswalk. Are you in the right one? What direction are you going in? Is this it? The work can be demanding, but there's still something that should be fueling you on the inside. There's a sense that what you're doing really matters, for example. There's a sense that you're making a difference. There's a sense that you are being energized by the work that you're doing. You are making a commitment to doing better things, and it's making things better for others. It's making things better for you. If it's not feeling that way, then again, you may need to step back, kind of look at things, and say, this energy that I am using in doing what I'm doing, I'm really kind of wasting it. I'm really not putting it to good use. I feel like I am letting go of energy that I really need to stop and put on something else. I feel like I'm wasting my energy. Yeah, you may need to sit back and take another look. Then there's the integrity test. That's a big one for me. That is the test that I always use in doing business. People frequently say that um, sometimes your religious values, your personal values, whatever values, don't always or shouldn't always be used when you're talking business. Some of the things may not apply. Well, I beg to differ. I think they do, because the same values that lead me in how I move and what I believe and what I do and how I act ought to be the same values, ought to be the same integrity that I use in doing business. So, reinvention should kind of move you closer to who you really are, to those values, to your authentic self. I frequently talk about operating in authenticity, because if you are not being genuinely you, if what you're doing does not genuinely reflect your inward being, your inward makeup, then guess what? Chances are you are trying to be something else and you're doing it just to fit in. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a certain amount of adaptation you may have to do when you're reinventing, when you're trying to make things work, when you're trying to get things launched. That's adaptation. That is not total alteration. You may need to adapt a bit, but it should not alter who you are, what you believe, your values, or your integrity. And if it is doing that, it's a sign that you're in the wrong crosswalk, that you're going the wrong direction, you're headed to the wrong building, your destination is not where it should be. All right. So the third one is the integrity test. What's the fourth one? The growth test. Are you growing? Are you just sitting stagnant? Now, don't confuse not moving fast or not seeing obvious major changes. Don't confuse that with not growing. Sometimes the growth process takes time, doesn't it? Seeds, when you plant them, they never come up fully sprouted within a couple of hours, do they? Well, not ordinarily, all right? They don't come up and sprouting, or I know this, they don't reach their full capacity in 24 hours. A seed has a process that it goes through, the germination process, and it has things that it needs. It needs the water and the sun and the right temperament and the right temperature and the right care and sometimes fertilizer and whatever else is needed to make that grow. And you want to grow, yes, but you want to grow and you want to be fruitful in your growth. You don't want to just grow and have a stalk there that doesn't bear anything, no vegetables or fruit, right? So there are times when that growth can be slower, but it doesn't mean that that growth should not be there at all. True reinvention produces growth, not just change. It's growth, not just change. You should see signs that your mindset is expanding, your confidence is developing, and your perspective is evolving. You're moving past that perspective that you had before you began the reinvention process, that perspective that held you back for so long. You're getting past that. So ask yourself, is this path helping me grow into the woman that I want to become? Am I growing? Am I growing and am I going in the direction that is truly the best direction for me? And what's the last tool that I want to bring to your attention? It is the confirmation tool. The confirmation tool looks like, well, major life changes often come with confirmation along the way, doesn't it? You know, you may have a question about where you're going. I think of it frequently when I was raising my children, trying to figure out what decisions were the best ones to make about their education, about what we allowed them to do, what we allowed them to see, where we allowed them to go. And frequently, I would sometimes have questions and I'd just be like, oh my goodness, Lord, I pray that this is in the right direction. And then something would come back to me, letting me know you did the right thing. Look at how they profited from you allowing them to be a part of this, for you investing in their education in this way. Well, that same kind of thing happens along the way when you're reinventing. Sometimes that, confirmation may come through wise counsel. Sometimes through opportunities that open up just at the right time. Sometimes through a quiet internal knowing, almost like that peace, right? But that knowing that continues to return even when the challenges arise, when things get as difficult can be, but still there's that something, that knowing within you that says, but this is it. It's just a challenge that I have to deal with. So ask yourself, are you receiving signs of confirmation along the way or constant signals to reconsider? Which one are you getting? Constant signals to reconsider? You might want to look at that crosswalk. All right. So 5 tools that you can use to see if your reinvention is truly the reinvention that you really should be pursuing. Is this the right direction? Am I in the right crosswalk? And it's not about, kind of stubbornly pushing forward no matter what, because that is going to lead to another change, isn't it? A change that you could have avoided if you had just taken care and moved in this change in the right way. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is continue forward. And sometimes the wisest thing you can do is adjust your course. All right? Either way, the goal is the same. You want to build a life that reflects who you truly are and the purpose you were created to live. That life in which you're going to thrive and not just merely survive. So as we end, I want you to take a moment right now or later on this evening before you turn in, or at some point after you hear this podcast. I want you to ask yourself, is the direction that you're walking in really bringing you closer to the life that you desire, or is it taking you further away from it? Because that answer is really going to reveal more than you think. Ask yourself that question and see what answer it is that you come up with. All right. So that's it. Thought for Thursday. Ways in which, or tools that you can use to figure out if your reinvention is going like it should, if it's the right one, if you're in the right crosswalk. I want to also tell you, if you're in the DC metropolitan area, or maybe you want to come in for this next Saturday. I cannot believe we are so close. We will be we will be having the Miss Corporate America competition the 14th of March at the Bowie Center for Performing Arts. Tickets are on sale now. VIP, I'm happy to say, is almost sold out. Yes, you heard me. VIP is almost sold out. So I advise you to go as quickly as you can. You don't want to miss this. It's an opportunity to network with women who are making inroads, major changes in the community, in their lives, to hear their stories, to hear their platforms, not just women, but also others in the audience who are there to celebrate these women. It's a wonderful opportunity to network. It's a wonderful opportunity to uplift and to celebrate women. And in what better month than Women's History Month? We'll be celebrating some icons in the community as well. We have Lady Tiffany Watson, who's going to be our MC. Yes, bringing all of her grandeur to the stage, and we're excited about that. We will be honoring Walla Blagay as well as Carmen Thompson with Crown Awards for all that they have done to make major change in the community. You want to be in the room. You don't want to miss this. Go to the QR code here. We'll also be sure to have the link in the comment section here. So until the next time we meet, get your ticket so that you can be at Miss MCA, Miss Corporate America. But also, I want you, no matter what you do next, make sure that you focus on being yourself. Touch something as only you can, as your authentic self, to make a difference. And whatever you do, focus hard and consciously on making things better, not just for you, but for someone else. And always focus in on being well.
Mm-hmm. New day. Mm-hmm. New day, new way. Turn it up, leaning 15 minutes. Let the change begin. Busy life, big dreams, so much noise in your ears. We cut straight through, make the next step clear. Thought for Thursday, real talk, real tools right now. In 15 we move the dial, simple steps, strong moves. You'll see how. Thought for Thursday, clarity that sticks. You'll feel it from insight to action, and impact that stays. Thought for Thursday, let's change a day.